I just thought I'd pop on and do Bible Plan Bible study tonight. I missed out on my readings today, so dealing with doubt's the one I'm working on right now. This is day 3. How does Jesus respond to doubt? God knew that his people would experience doubts during their lives of faith on earth. Scripture gives us examples of men like this in his word, like John the Baptist. This man spent his life paving the way, preparing Israel for the arrival of Jesus, the Messiah. He was even there when Jesus was baptized and confirmed by the Father as the Anointed One, the one whom he'd been warning the Jews to look for. And yet, at the end of his life, John questioned if Jesus really was who he said he was. Talk about doubt. After seeing all these signs confirming Jesus' identity, John still wondered, did I get it all wrong? Was my life a waste? And after all this, now I'm in prison for telling Israel about Jesus. In today's passage, you will see John's doubt in Jesus and his doubt in himself. Watch for Jesus' response to his questioning. What surprises you about how King Jesus responds? Take comfort in the fact that God includes moments like these in his word. Look in the word. Read Matthew chapter 11, verse 2 through 15. What is John's big question or doubt? Why do you think he was doubting? And number 2, look at the verses 4 and 5 and 11. What do you notice about Jesus' 2 responses to John? What does he tell John's disciples to be reminded of? What does he say about John later in the passage? What's next? Well, this was a significant moment in John's life. His question about Jesus' identity and his own identity as Jesus' forerunner shook him deeply. These were not easy and light questions, yet John wanted to face his doubt, so he asked Jesus himself via his friends. Do not shy away from going directly to Jesus with your hard questions. In light of what you've learned today, consider how you think Jesus might respond to your questions. Okay, Matthew chapter 11. And when John had heard in prison about the works of Christ, he sent 2 of his disciples and said to him, Are you the coming one, or do we look for another? Jesus answered and said to them, Go and tell John the things which you hear and see. The blind see, the lame walk, the lepers are cleansed, and the deaf hear, and the dead are raised up. The poor have the gospel preached to them, and blessed is he who is not offended because of me. As they departed, Jesus began to say to the multitude concerning John, What did you go out into the wilderness to see? A reed shaken by the wind? But what did you go out to see? A man clothed in soft garments? Indeed, those who wear soft clothing are in kings' houses. But what did you go out to see? A prophet? Yes, I say to you, and more than a prophet, for this is he whom it is written, Behold, I send my messenger before your face, who will prepare your way before you. Assuredly, I say to you, among those born of women, there has not risen one greater than John the Baptist, but he who is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he. And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffers violence, and violent take it by force. And the violent take it by force. I'm so sorry. For all the prophets and the law prophesied until John. And if you are willing to receive it, he is Elijah who is to come. He who has ears to hear, let him hear. Do you ever wonder who the 2 witnesses are going to be? I mean, I always think it will be the 2 that never died, that went to heaven, which was Elijah and Enoch. But Moses certainly started the path when it came to, listening to God and doing what he asked and did his will. And yet on that mountain of transfiguration, it was Moses and Elijah that was there. But you often wonder who those two witnesses are going to end up being. But anyways, it's an interesting topic, and if anybody wants to comment about it, please do so. But that's it for tonight's reading, and I'll be back on tomorrow to start up to continue with my Bible readings. I said Proverbs is almost done, so I'm more likely we'll go back into the New Testament again. I think that we need to keep fresh with that as well. And I thank you for listening. And goodbye for now.